Okay, so area of circles is completely different than circumference. Circumference, like I said, is when you walk around a circle, like walk around a house. Area is when you, like maybe a circular tablecloth, like how much can it cover up? Or a circular rug, how big of a stain can you cover up with this rug? How much can you paint? Let's see, so many different coverage, flooring, polka dots. Think of anything that's circular that covers something up. That would be area. Area in its nature is coverage. So when you have, like when you own land, like acreage, that is area. Because you have a coverage, square footage, square yards, things like that. That's area. So again, anytime you're dealing with a circle, you're going to be dealing with pi. Only circles have pi in them, the formulas. So the formula for the area of a circle is radius times pi. Notice that we don't use diameter here. We use diameter for circumference, but for area we use radius. So if they give us diameter, we have to change it to radius first. And also notice that we take radius times itself. And a lot of times they write it, area is radius squared pi. And they say pi r squared, whoops. All three of these say the exact same thing. We're going to use the top one because I think it's the simplest. But they all say the same thing. And it's very simple. Now, the thing that you have to realize is that because we're talking about area and coverage, we're going to be doing, our units won't be just yards or inches or centimeters. They're going to be square centimeters, square inches, square miles. And so all of our units will have a 2. So it'll be square inches, square miles, square yards, things like that. So make sure that when you write your units with the area, only with the area, that you have square in your units. Okay, so let's go ahead and do an example. And let me write the formula again. So we're looking for the radius. And in number 1, the question is, do they give us the radius or do they give us the diameter? And they give us the radius, which is good because that's what we need. So we don't really have to do anything except for just plug it in. So we got the radius times the radius times pi. And in your calculator, if you take 13 times 13, you're going to get 169. And then we had feet. So look at the units. It was feet. So don't forget, we're going to put square feet because we're talking about area, which is coverage. And so that's good. This is a good answer. We could be done, but don't forget we're going to write it 2 different ways. We're going to write it once in terms of pi, and then we're going to write it again in decimal form. So go ahead and convert this to decimal form, and we're going to round it to the nearest hundredth, and then we'll write our final answer. Okay, so we have 530.93 square feet. Now, let me just be very clear that once you hit the toggle button and you have it in decimal form, you don't write pi anymore. Sometimes kids will write pi in everything, like even after they've already hit the toggle button or they've hit enter and they've already multiplied it by pi. So either you're going to leave it in terms of pi like this, or you're going to actually change it to a decimal, and this will be your answer. But just think before you do it. Make sure what you're doing is making sense. Okay, let's do number 2. So always write the formula on every problem. That way it'll help you memorize the formula. Radius times pi. That's what we're looking for. And they give us 12 inches. The question is that the radius or is that the diameter? And it's halfway across, so that is the radius, which is good because that's what we needed. So 12 times 12 times pi. So 144 pi. And then we got to look at the units, and it was inches. So square inches. And this is good. Like, this could be our answer. But we're going to write it again one more time in decimal form. And so that's going to be 452.39 square inches. Make sure if you have any questions that you ask them. Don't let yourself be confused and not ask for help. Let's try number 3 together. Okay, so we're trying to find area here. So radius times pi. Always the same thing. And so look at this. They gave us 5 yards. And the question is, did they give us the radius or did they give us the diameter? And they gave us the radius. Radius is 5. So 5 times pi. So the area is 25 pi. And if I look at the units, it's yards, so that's square yards as my unit. And if I hit the toggle button, if I hit 25 pi and hit the toggle button or hit enter, it tells me that it's 78.54 square yards. And both of those answers are exactly the same answer. So I want you to do the rest of the page, and then I want you to raise your hand and let me look at them. Make sure you show all of your work, and make sure you show both answers.